Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a very special exploding summoner unkillable build. So before we start anything, let me just show you guys my mana region. It's sitting on 1600, or over here you can see 1600, or you can go over 3000 mana region. So in order to show you guys the maximum region we have, look closely at my mana regeneration and look over here, 3100 mana at its peak. Now I can reduce the revival timer even further, and you can see over 3000 mana once I get to its peak, consistently 1500 mana region. And look at the minions, and they explode pretty much the entire radius of the map that's around me. I want to show you guys the fully unkillable version with exploding skeletons. Yes, this is a tier 16 map, and yes, we're memeing it up. This is a little bit meme and also a little bit broken in two ways. Let me try to explain to you guys. Now, this is not the optimized setup. You can see that we're exploding everything on the field just with skeleton warriors. But my optional setup and also my goal is to just not do damage with the skeleton warriors. But I want to show you guys how unkillable this build can be with so much mana regen. It also does some hefty damage. Like, I did not build this particular exploding setup for damage, but it was able to one-shot most of the rare monsters within every revive of the 126 skeleton warriors. And as you can see over here, what I really want to show you guys is how much mana regen we have and how incredibly durable we are. Even when the skeleton minions have died, we're sitting at over 1600 or 2000 mana per second, which makes this mana mind over matter defensive build very, very tanky and also unkillable. Now, the second broken thing about this build is that the FPS drop. Unfortunately, the game itself cannot handle over 133 skeleton warriors when I have over 1057 spirit. So what does that mean? My FPS drops dramatically when the skeleton warriors are summoned, and then FPS recovers once they die in the next second. And that is something we have to be aware. So two things that is a little broken. One is the unkillable mana regen. The second thing is the FPS, which we do have adjustment, and I'll showcase to you guys very soon. Now, of course, this build is not ideally made for just that. So here I'm just showing you guys the maximum skeleton warriors I can summon and also the maximum mana regen we have. Let's have a look at this build in a normal fighting mode and a more optimized setup. So over here I'm sitting on 1000 mana regen per second, and once the skeleton dies correctly in the synchronized form, I'm sitting on close to 2000 mana regen. Just to show you guys over here. So as the 76 skeleton warriors dies, I'm always sitting on over 1000 mana regen, and here once we get the perfect sync, we're sitting on 2000 mana regen for a split second. This can get even better too. So very, very durable. Second to that, we're still running frozen Mandibles, and the ants are incredible. So not only the skeleton warrior provide us with unkillableness, the ants are one-shotting everything on the map. And I realized I don't need more than 7 or 8 ants. So what does that mean is I can afford to run so many skeleton warriors that just face tank whatever's in front of me. The skeleton warriors will explode everything on the map as well, which give us great AoE potential, while the frozen mandibles, they're just here to destroy everything with one attack. So now we have damage, we have survivability, we can adjust the build for higher mobility. The only thing I have difficulty fixing is my potato computer with the old out-of-date graphics card. So what that means is if you have a stronger computer, yes, the build is limited by my computer's capacity to run so many minions. You can see it is incredibly fun, but even with the optimized setup with only 76 skeleton warriors, we're still having FPS delays. Not as bad as before, but it is still a little bit annoying. The build can go faster with movement speed boots, the build can use Headhunter, the build can use a lot of versions that is available from a previous setup, but I just want to show you guys how the build runs and also how you can become unkillable as the summoner. And also doing tremendous AoE exploding damage, which is very fun, right? So, for those of you that want to see the full build, the build is available for you guys to have a look, and I will hover over all the items that is available. Let's fast forward a little bit so I can show you guys the boss fight. Now, in terms of the boss fight, absolutely no problem. And if you sync correctly, if the boss happen to land on your 70 plus exploding skeleton warriors, you will get one-shotted. But notice here we didn't sync correctly. the frozen Mandibles still kill the boss within 3 to 4 seconds. And the build is very tanky, tons of damage, tons of survivability, and I think this is a pretty good point to look into the exploding summoners, right? So for those of you that want to see all the stats, all the related gears, everything's related to this new setup, it will be available at the end of the video, and I'll hover over all of those, even show you guys the mana regen and also the setup. We'll of course go through what has changed and what makes this build possible in this video. So now coming over to my character. Now I did warn you guys, the drawback of the build is the FPS delay. So if you look into my FPS, and take this away, I'm sitting on 60 FPS, but when the skeleton warriors are back, you can see it drops to about 40 to 30 FPS, and that's before I summon all of my skeletons. So how is the build working and what makes this possible is that I would like to say a special thank you to one of our viewers who actually explained this particular concept with me in the previous video. So a big thank you to OLEGK9 over here. He mentioned that having additional minions give us more mana regen, and just having additional skeleton warriors can make you very significantly tankier with mana regen. From what I understood previously, I didn't know each individual additional summon unit that is killed while under the effect of Essence Harvest will give us tons of mana regen. So this means every single skeleton warrior that is killed while I'm suiciding them very fast with Infernal Legion and also Minion instability, they die within 2 or 3 seconds, they will be giving us 8% mana regen. So this is 7 times 8, 70 times 8, or if you saw in the video, it goes a little berserk if you go maximum. I think the maximum I had was about how much regen? Maximum I had was 133. So 133 times 8%, we're sitting on 1000% mana regen. And this is how you can get over 1000, 2000, or even 3000 mana per second with this particular build. So yes, simply put it, anybody who is running my current setup that is focused on Mind Over Matter, together with the ability to overflow your mana with a Cockerel Jewel that gives you 150% more mana to be overflowing, and if you're running my Suicidal Minion setup, which has been now updated with Essence Harvest, with Minion Stability, and also with Infernal Legion, together with Minion Mastery. So if you're running this, any of the spirit you have, you can come over to the Skeleton Warriors. Skeleton Warrior is by far the cheapest summon compared to all the other summons. And it has pretty decent base life, so you're actually doing some hefty damage. So just to show you guys over here, you can see that we're running around, we're summoning the rare monsters, and when my skeleton warrior comes here, just to show you, like over 1,000, over 133 skeleton warrior just exploded everything on the map, and that's before I even run the full damage setup. So simply put it, whatever spare essence you have, you don't have to go all the way to like 10, 15 frozen mandibles. I think running 7 or 8 is optimized for me, and the rest can go to the skeleton warriors. And this really pushes up your survivability, and look at this survivability, tons of mana regen. Of course, the drawback is if you're having FPS delay issues, you can just reduce the number of the skeleton warriors and then optimize for your main minion, and that still works. So what are the rest of the setup? Well, once you understand the links of the jewels, you can input this in any build. As long as you're running Mind Over Matter, having some decent mana base and the 8% mana regen is incredible. And to optimize this, I have went into the mana reserve build, which gives me 26% mana reservation, and also the mana reservation of the spirit reservation. Spirit reservation for the minions, 26%, and the boots here is capped at 37%. It doesn't have to be at 37%, because just getting a few more skeleton warriors is not going to change much. It will change your FPS though. So the boots and also the belt is the ultimate tanky version. We'll have a look at the mobility version very soon. The helmet can give you the 6% reservation. You can also roll 6 or 8% reservation on the helmet, but I prefer the +1 minion skill. You can get 12% on the chest piece, and you can get tons of spirit on the weapon, on the shield, on the amulet of course, together with abilities to find more reservations coming from your timeless jewel. So look into the guide if you don't know how to craft those. We will be getting more reservation, and here, oh, I actually missed this point. I should have prepared this one. So we could even summon more. So one moment. I was testing whether more mana is helpful or whether more spirit is helpful. I think more spirit is better here. We also get a bit of presence. So I was testing that. I forgot to pack this back. So you can get 4% over here, maximum spirit. You can roll into the 8% spirit over here if you craft correctly. And some reservation over here. We'll be getting additional spirits over here. And yes, guys, if you want to follow the build in the Builder's Guide link, this build is updated. You have additional spirits. I don't have enough points to come over here. That's my next goal if I get high enough level. So what has changed on the passive is that notice that I no longer take all the points over here because I needed those additional 8 points to come over to the Minion Revival. So we have 25% Minion Revival. I went on this side to get another 15% Minion Revival together with some maximum mana. Mana regen is not bad. This is just a bonus. And more Minion Revival over here. What you're looking at is you want to hit the breakpoint of 5 or 6 second Minion Revival. So if you don't take this point, this is a 15%, this is a 15%. So if you don't take those 2 points, you will save a lot of points. But the downside is if you only take this 25% Minion Revival, you're looking at a 6 second Minion Revival, which is decent. You don't want to be over 6 seconds. Notice that I'm always sitting on 5 second Minion Revival. And this means the minion revive faster, they die faster, and then we get even high mana. So the bigger focus is the breakpoint for the minion revival. You can get 25% over here. This is a must-have because this is a massive cap. And once you have that, this is optional for 15. It has to be combined with this 15 to go from 6 seconds to 5 second breakpoint. And just to show you guys over here, my minion dies super fast, and once they die, it is 5 seconds. And within 5 seconds, they'll revive again. So it is really, really fast. And hence, even stronger mana regen, right? Now, it is possible during this time to even look into more minion revival speed. One thing you could craft on your Timeless Drew is another 20% minion revival. This is optional, and this is not the biggest ideal. And this also destroys my FPS. That's why I didn't craft that. Second to that, I am thinking about using this particular chess piece that can roll 50% minion revival, and then it can be valved into 61% minion revival. So that one, if I put this on, so remember I was on 5% or 5 seconds to minion revive. Now I'm on 4 seconds. It's not the biggest game changer, I have to say. So minion dies 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Let's have a look again. So if you can take it down to 2 seconds, that is really good. I think, oh, it's so fast. Is it 4 seconds or 3 seconds? So I don't think losing the charge is 4 seconds. 4 seconds is not worth it. And here I am sitting on another 61% minion revival. I think to hit the breakpoint, I might need this Drew. But, 5 seconds to 3 seconds, if I lose the chest, it's not a big deal. So this is why I didn't go full min with this chest. And I think this will also destroy my FPS. So minion revival, aim for about 6 seconds or 5 seconds to have the optimized mana regen. And to follow from that, so we talk about the minions over here. I want to come back to the gems over here. So one reason we have minion mastery is actually, again, thank you to our viewer over here to be sharing that having minion mastery would reduce the spirit cost. But exactly how does that work? I did look into it. You want to hit a breakpoint of level 30, I believe, at least. Actually, level 31 maybe. So taking this off, so what I want to show you guys is how much does it cost me to get additional summon. So maybe it's easier to over here to see. No, this is 18. So maybe I take the whole thing down to 0 to show you guys this properly. So it is quite important to have additional minion rank to hit a breakpoint. Once you can hit a breakpoint, you can then have even lower minion cost. So the first two are free. This next one is 9 spirit, right? Remember this, 9 spirit per summon. But having additional minion mastery beyond the rank of 31, I believe this is a breakpoint, you'll be costing 8 spirit per summon. This is pretty massive. So instead of 9 spirit, it is 8 spirit per summon. So you want to hit the breakpoint of level 31 of your summon units for every unit to hit 31. To go at least 31. You can find minion ranks on the weapon, which can go +5. You can find minion ranks +3 on the helmet, +4 on the amulet, And finally, you can find minion ranks coming from the Prison of Belief gems for specific minion from level 1 to level 3. But just with those 3 pieces of the gears, was able to get all my minions to 31 using the Minion Mastery gem. So, to show you guys over here, Skeleton Brute, level 31. So look at the cost of the mana, it is 22, right? So if I take away Minion Mastery, it costs 23. So we just saved 1 spirit. Snipers is already over 31, so the Minion Mastery won't change anything. So, Stone Mages, level 31. If I take, currently it costs 36, right? So if I take this off, it costs 38. We save another 2 spirit. So every bit over here, having Minion Mastery will save you a bit of spirit if you hit level 31 as a breakpoint. I believe this is a breakpoint. I don't think getting higher levels will change much. So to show you guys over here, Snipers, level 33, will cost 28 spirit. So if I take away the Fire Mastery, it will cost 28, cost 28. So notice the Fire Mastery is not changing anything because the breakpoint is already reached at level 31. So going from level 32 to 33 will not give you additional spirit cost reduction. So what I was doing is all the summon units are base level 19 gems. This is level 20. So to show you guys level 19 gems, all the gems are level 19. You can take it to level 20, which is a little more costly. I socketed to 4 sockets, and then I just added the Minion Mastery so that they hit the level 31 breakpoint. If you're having trouble on your gears to get to 31 ranks, you can take this uncut skill gems to level 20, which costs about 200 exalt per gem, so keep that in mind. And of course, in order to get higher Skeleton Warrior level, a higher base weapon with level 19 Skeleton Warrior is much preferable, because this would help you to get to 31 easier, and this also means this becomes better. You can get the Scepter to quality 20, which will give 20% quality on the Skeleton Warriors. It's not the biggest deal, it will give them 20% more life, so they will deal a little more damage, but we're not really here for the damage, right? Now, in terms of the rest of the gears, if you have seen the previous video, we're massively stacking HP. So tons of HP on the gloves, tons of HP on the chest piece, and here even HP on the helmet, together with massive HP on the amulet with percentage life. So why is that? If you remember, we valve this one from 25 to 20. So every 20 life give us 1 spirit. Together with our passive over here, every 25 life also give us 1 spirit. So this is how I'm sitting on over 1030 spirit. My spirit can go even higher. I gain 20% temporary life using the Spirit of the Bear charm. And this means this is how I got over 133 Skeleton Warriors with massive regen. You also get the 20% damage reduction, which is really good. To show you guys over here, the most OP setup for the Unkillable Summoner is the one I just stand there in front of the rare monsters, and when my minion revives, it will just kaboom them. They're pretty fun, right? I'll show you the replay to you guys. But the FPS drops is what is killing me. It's broken in FPS. I wish I could disable my own animations, then I'll be perfect. I just want to run with my Unkillable Summoner, and look at this. They just stand in front of the monsters, and they actually die from the suicidal minions, which is not scaling to life at all at the moment. There's just so many of them, just kaboom, nuclear build. So, now, before we finish, I want to give you guys a gear adjustment update. I don't think it is worth it to go for this particular chest piece just for the lower second revival, because it only brings me to 4 seconds. I'm sitting on about 5-second revival, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, 5-second revival to 4 seconds, not worth it to go with this chest piece. But if you want to go fast in a previous build, you simply put on the headhunter, put on the movement speed boots, and now you're sitting at 60% movement speed. You can go to over 100% movement speed once you start sprinting. To show you guys over here, 100% movement speed. So you can be super speedy. And the adjustment is quite simple. You just run a few less Skeleton Warriors in compensation for more mobility for faster map clear. But it is not the end all, so I'm gonna go to 7. And I just go over here to show you guys the adjustment. Yes, it takes a while to summon all of those units. This is a little awkward part. So 45. So how much mana regen? I'm sitting on 45. I'm sitting on 500 mana regen. Look at that. 300, 500. and 700. Mana Regen is still pretty good, and I have 100% movement speed. It goes even higher when the Headhunter steals enemies' buffs. Now, I can take this little further to run my Aura bot with even higher movement speed. But the downside is it will take too much of my spirit, so I haven't been using my Aura bot. I could, but that will sacrifice maybe another 20 Skeleton Warriors. I'm pretty comfortable sitting on 45 Skeleton Warriors. So tons of life, tons of mana recovery, exploding the whole map with amazing powers, and the variation is very simple. So if you want to go high damage, I'll just horse survivability, you go with a belt, you go with the boots, and you get the right socket, you're sitting on 40% free movement speed, which is already pretty good for the summoner. But if you want to go further, take those two, easily sitting on 60% or 100% movement speed, and goes over 120% movement speed when you kill the rare monsters and steal their modifiers. Now, in case you guys are curious, just to show you guys a little further, I have taken out the Skeleton Brute, which costs the highest spirit, and I have put in the Frozen Mandibles as the aura pet for the additional haste aura. So just to show you guys the movement speed, sitting on 70%, and when we start sprinting, sitting on close to 120% movement speed. I could go higher, so this takes me to 150 or 160% when I steal the Headhunter buffs. But what is the change, what is the compensation, is over here. I'm running 19 of the Skeleton Warriors in compared to like 40, 50 or even 70 Skeleton Warriors, because this particular Aura bot costs a little bit more spirit. But that is not bad. If you're looking for fastest mapping, you can go with Headhunter, Mobility Skill Boots or Mobility Boots, which we have a video to teach you how to get the cheaper version for 55% movement speed instead of 70%. 50% costs about 1 to 2 divine, while 70% costs over 40 divine. So 15% speed difference. And over here, the bigger focus is having this aura pet that can give us mid shield and also loyalty with another 10% damage reduction. In compensation, we're sitting on around 300 mana regen, which is not bad. Sometimes it goes a little higher too. I'll try to show you guys over here. 300 mana regen, what did I see? It will double up a little higher. So there are 3 versions of the build, and make sure you understand all 3 versions. So it goes to 500 at its peak. So whether you want to have tons of mana regen, if you want to have mobility, you can run with Aura Pet. If you want to go with something in the middle, you just run with another warrior, and then that can work too. Finally, if you want to go with the highest summons and also highest damage, you can mix this up into those 2 gears. So make sure you use the links below to understand the 3 versions of this new setup, which just quadrupled our survivability, and this still does decent damage. The biggest, I guess, drawback is the FPS. I think running 19 of the warriors, I have no FPS issue. Running about 40 warriors drops FPS a little bit. Running 70 drops my FPS to 40, and running 130 drops my FPS to about 15. And that is the bigger catch. You need a strong computer to optimize your skeleton warriors, or you can reduce them for higher mobility. Now, before I finish the video, there isn't much of the skill rotation. I will stop using Pain Offering. You can see 90% of the fight, or 99% of the fight, I don't use Pain Offering. I'm just running around here. I don't think I even use Pain Offering. I just let my minion do work. The Pain Offering will double our damage, by the way. But the build is so good. It's perfect with the survivability now. So again, a special thank you for our viewers who's been sharing with me with some interesting tips to make the Summoner's build even better. And I think that is with the build, guys. I could meme it up to get to 3-second minion revival, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And now my party members are not prepared. I'm about to blow the FPS when party with him. Look at the Frozen Mandibles. Look at the Skeleton Warriors, which is reviving non-stop. Loving it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think we hit even stronger optimized point for the summoners. I am in the process of looking into other great builds for you guys, and trust me, there's some really good builds, and you can easily access them into the Lich, into the Blood Mage, and even from the Infernalist as a Witch. So make sure you stay tuned for those updated builds, guys. That'll be coming very now. Hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
Death, take you! None can oppose me. Another corpse to serve me. Now! A fine little trinket.
side.
Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on the official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.